How do we grow this influence of black leaders, men and women, that can represent our industry inside the ANC, inside the policy-making structures?
Get to grips with the digital environment, put together best practices, what works and what doesn't, very importantly.
In the project that we're doing in Chatlat, we've created a linking bridge between those two little areas there. So it becomes a matter of just 10 minutes walk from one side to the other.
So my message to our CEOs and those chief investment officers is, where at the end of the day do you want to see your role?
So by treating all of our water back to a stage where we can bring it back into the process, we're in effect saving around about 35% of our water usage on site.
Hello, I'm Gordon Brown, and this is greeneconomy.tv. Welcome to our series of conversations with leading influencers within the green economy. And today we're speaking to an old friend of our business, Douw Steyn, the Sustainability Director at Plastics SA. And we're going to be talking about the Clean Up and Recycle SA Week initiative. Before we introduce Douw and get the conversation started, let's play you a short clip just to give you an introduction.
It's the 20th International Coastal Cleanup. Why are we doing this? For the 20th time, it's to keep the seas clean as much as we can, and obviously to raise awareness and sensitize people about the issues. It's done through a myriad of countries, about 34 countries taking part of it today. There's a few million people taking part in this cleanup today, and in South Africa we've possibly got around about 23,000 people cleaning.
As Plastic SA, we'd like to thank all the thousands of volunteers cleaning up South Africa this year. We encourage them all to recycle, not just today, but every day. People should not litter. That is the bottom line. We should encourage proper waste management in this country. We should encourage separation at source. At least we're getting the material not going to a landfill, but into the recycling bins. That's what it's all about. Every day, let's clean up this country. It's a beautiful country. Let's keep it clean and healthy.
It's been a fantastic day today out at Strandfontein Beach. Friends, families, kids, older folk just coming out to enjoy, do something good for the environment, as well for someone else's community. Our message today is really just to encourage people to get out onto the beautiful beaches of Cape Town, enjoy our beautiful beaches. Whenever you go to the beach, pick up 3 pieces of litter on your way off. Keep our beaches clean, keep our oceans clean, and recycle.
So Douw, welcome to the show. Great to have you. Great to see you again.
Well, it's very nice to see you again. Thank you for the opportunity, Gordon.
No, what a pleasure. So Douw, yeah, I mean, we're talking about cleaning up. We're talking about recycling, and you and I both know, as lovers of the ocean, that globally we're facing a crisis of pollution, and in particular what's been in the headlines really come to the fore in a major way in the last few years is this global crisis of plastic pollution. Obviously it ends up in the ocean. That's not where it starts. You and your colleagues at Plastics SA represent the South African plastics industry. How are you responding to this global crisis and the looming sort of amount of information, reaction from people around the world?
Yes, Gordon, it's also a bit of a challenge for us as well, because, you know, when a product is manufactured and it ends up in somebody's hands, we don't have really control over it. But I think for the benefit of everybody, Plastic SA do not produce any products. We're the umbrella organization for the plastic industry. So we represent raw material producers, converters, recyclers, various associations. One of the pillars in Plastic SA is sustainability. And with our product responsibility organizations like Petco, Polyco, Vinyl Association, Polystyrene Association. Plastic in the environment is quite crucial for us, and how do we address it? And I think that is where cleanup and recycling campaign came about. It's now 25 years. When I watched the video now with you, I can't believe it's 5 years ago. And so what we always say in the plastic industry, plastics don't litter, people do. And how do we change that human behavior for people not to litter? So together with all our partners in the packaging industry, various other organizations, and you can see them on the website, cleanup website, is that we all came together and realized that we need to do something. Cleaning up is one part, recycling is another part, but at the end of the day, plastics do not belong in the environment. So we are concerned as well as a global industry, and that is why the Global Plastic Alliance have taken various steps, 77 associations globally. How are we going to address plastic in the environment through sustainability projects?
No, very interesting, and I know from personal experience that you've been involved in many pickups yourself personally. Tell us a little bit about the Clean Up and Recycle SA Week initiative. How did it get started? How did Plastics SA get on board? And what does it involve? I mean, you personally, you head down to the beach, you roll up your sleeves, you pick up some plastic. Just tell us a little bit about the genesis of it.
At the end of the day, it all starts with volunteers. The coastal cleanup started 30, 40 years ago in the USA. In 1996, we were approached by SNVelo, KZN Wildlife, to supply bags for cleanups. And then we decided after that, wow, this is a good project. It's got potential, working with global industries like Ocean Conservancy. And that project has just grown every year. Eventually, it became Cleanup Week for not just the coastal areas, but inland as well, because a lot of your litter come through rivers downstream into the ocean. So we need to look at inland as well. So 2000 became Cleanup South Africa. And then about 10 years later, we decided cleanups is one option, but we need to improve recycling, make people more aware about recycling. Then we decided to call it Cleanup and Recycling Campaign. So at the moment, we've got so many partners, so many support from volunteers, and without them, the troops on the ground, we will not be able to do it. So thanks to all those warriors out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So when will this year's Clean Up and Recycle SA Week take place?
Okay, there's a golden rule that it's every year on the third Saturday in September, and that is a rule made by Ocean Conservancy. So we've decided to always keep that week before the coastal cleanup, which is always the third Saturday, as Clean Up and Recycling SA Week. So this year it's next week, 13 to 18 September. The Wednesday is now River Day, South Africa, and Friday is Recycling Day, and on the Saturday, the 18th, is International Coastal Cleanup Day and World Cleanup Day. So we try to put it into one big basket, but you must remember it's an awareness. It's not going to solve the problem. The problem is more upstream in terms of waste management.
Yeah, and I guess it's also about behavior change and teaching people and education, as you say. I guess it's a bit of an obvious question, and I know you've touched us on this already, but tell us, what is the purpose of Clean Up and Recycle SA Week?
Well, I think one of the main purposes is to get everybody sensitized and aware that our country is dirty, and that if we as volunteers, we as the citizens don't take action, we cannot just rely on governments and municipalities to do all the good work. We as the citizens have to also play our part. So for me, the purpose is also to then create awareness, to use as opportunity for education, to make people aware of recycling and that products, especially plastic, is 100% recyclable and should and could be recycled. So one can actually form a lot of activities around it, and especially on the cleanup side. And everybody can get involved. It's not a one-man show. You can all play your part.
No, 100%. And how do you and your colleagues at Plastics SA support the various communities and volunteer groups that do cleanups during the week?
Well, most of the activities because we're also a non-profit company for the industry, we also rely on support from people outside the industry. So one of the main functions for Plastic SA is one is to coordinate the events. Secondly, to appoint coordinators in all the provinces along the coastline as being our coordinators and champions to spearhead these projects. And then thirdly, to get bags made. A plastic bag is the tool to pick up the rubbish and take it to the landfill, or most of the times we're also encouraging sorting of those bags that are picked up. So for us as Plastic SA, being the custodian, being the main coordinator, writing the final report for Ocean Conservancy around the beach cleanups, is to provide the bag. And the bags are sponsored by various partners, too many to name, because to pick up rubbish next to the road, you need a bag. So we one of the main sponsors of the bags.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so you touched on the fact that there's actually a calendar of events that's going on. Tell us about some of the events that are being planned for this year's Clean Up and Recycle SA Week.
Okay, I think we need to look much wider than just the week. If you look at next week, is now Clean Up and Recycle SA Week. The Wednesday we've this year declared as River Cleanup Day because it's part of the Cleanup Week. Although River Cleanup Day is on the 26th of September, some of our friends always say, but cleanups should be every day, and we are doing cleanups every day. Good, but we need to create that awareness. Friday is then, of course, Recycling Day. Saturday is Coastal Cleanup Day and World Cleanup Day. But throughout the year, there's other activities linked to this. One is Marine Week in October, and then, of course, Water Week in March next year, and then World Environment Day, World Ocean Day, 8th of June next year. So there's various activities taking place. And my dream is that we should not be doing cleanups. We should not brag about the fact we're handing out 300,000 bags. We should actually be handing out less bags. That means the country's getting cleaner.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not the case.
Yeah, less litter, less to pick up. But yeah. So you mentioned these various days, and each one has a great purpose. What and when is National Recycling Day?
Okay, that is declared on the 17th of September, which is next week, Friday. And actually the main aim there is to really make people aware that plastic packaging or other, even all packaging should and could be recycled. So there's really an awareness day. And that is why we also encourage, when there's cleanup campaigns in that week, 100% of the material usually that is picked up on our rivers, on our beaches, can and should be recycled. It should not be going to a landfill. They're always good and clean, it's washed by the river and the ocean.
Yeah. So, look, this will be the 25th year that Plastics SA will coordinate the South African involvement in the international. So it's the International National Coastal Cleanup Day series and event globally, obviously. Tell us more about this coordination role that you play.
Well, there's two big activities on the Saturday. One is the International Coastal Cleanup, which is under the banner of Ocean Conservancy. They've been doing it for probably 35, 40 years. We've been doing it for 25 years, supporting it. So these are mostly monitored cleanups. So we have data sheets, information gets collected so that we know what is collected, what are the volumes, how many people. So there's a global report that is written by Ocean Conservancy, and we as Plastic SA compile that report for South Africa. And then there's also Let's Do It, the World Cleanup, which is also on the Saturday. And that is getting people from Honolulu to Texas to South Africa to clean up the world. They also try to get as many people to participate, look at numbers, bags, etc. So we also partnered with Let's Do It, the World Cleanup for that day. So if you're not at the coast, you've got no choice, or you have options to clean up your river, your roadsides, your school, your backyard as well.
Yeah, no, what a pleasure. And talking about stats, I mean, how many South Africans actually participate annually in these cleanup events?
Well, they always differ every year. Yeah, people, when it rains, you have less people. And when it's a nice bright day, people put suntan lotion on and they come and clean up for an hour or two. So it all depends on the weather. But also, last year with COVID, we actually thought we're not going to have the cleanups, and then we decided to carry on because OSHA Conservancy said, but let's try, even if we get less people. And we were quite surprised at the number of people doing those cleanups that participated. And then now this year we've manufactured 500,000 bags for cleanups that goes to our coordinators. And we've already given out 350,000 bags as from this morning. So I find this year a lot more people interested. They want to go out. They want to be out in the sun, and hopefully the sun will shine. And in the past, if I throw figures around, we had like 120,000 people that participated. But you don't often get people give you reports back. They get the bags, they do a cleanup, and a year later they give you a report. But estimate 120,000 in total, and I would say for the coastal areas, between 16 and 25,000.
Okay, interesting. So quite a lot of people from the inland areas participating, obviously along the rivers and the bushveld areas and so forth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here's a devil's advocate question for you, right? Do these cleanups make a difference to the environment?
I would say yes, because first of all, I believe a clean environment is a healthy environment. And I also don't believe that especially litter should lie on our roadsides because it is unhealthy. It does look cleaner. Of course, I sometimes wish I can just stop doing cleanups. It's really, after 25 years, you think, gee, is it really working? But when I see the volunteers, the hard they work to clean up their areas and how beautiful it look afterwards, your before and after pictures, and you see even a project that we've been doing with Clean Surf project in Amasmatoti. You and I both Durban boykies. If you look at the Toti River and the estuary, it's heavy polluted when there's a bit of rain coming down, all that litter coming from upstream into the lagoon, onto the beaches. And we've initiated with various partners the Inkwasi Isu project, which means the Fish Eagle project. And looking at the river catchment of Amasmatoti, Umlazi, that area, and say, right, how are we going to address the problem? So through collaboration with various partners, municipality, government, NGOs, environmental organizations, we started cleaning those rivers, looking at education programs, looking at litter booms, cleanup campaigns, waste management upstream, etc., etc. That river started becoming more cleaner. And then the Fish Eagle came back, and that's how that project was born. So for me, that was a light in my tunnel to say, if we clean our rivers, our roadsides, we'll definitely have a cleaner, healthier environment. And that makes my day, it makes me not give up.
Yeah, what a pleasure. And that's a great story. And it's great to get personal feedback when you see animals responding to changes in the environment. So it's obviously been a difficult time for everybody. We've had the COVID pandemic. It must have played havoc for you with government's trying to keep people apart. No one wants to touch anything. How were you impacted last year with COVID?
I think definitely it does create a problem in your planning, is because you don't know how many bags to produce, how many you can hand out, who will participate, etc. So it did have a bit of a focus that there were less people doing cleanups, but we had great excitement when we decided to open it up and people were cleaning up. Luckily, the lockdown wasn't that strict that you can't have some people there, not hundreds and thousands. But I think the excitement was there that we've given out bags, people participated, and we had some great cleanup campaigns. Last year, we had the Minister of Environmental Affairs at the Inkwasi Isu project in Amasmatoti launching the beach rake and Unimog for cleaning up the Mazimtoti area. And we had a fun day. It was, so
what a pleasure.
impact, yes, on the number of people, but for me it was more there was more quality people. People who were really encouraged to clean up and play their part that day.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So Douw, if somebody wants to get involved in this year's cleanups, what should they do?
Well, I would always say, play your part, take action. Don't wait for other people to clean up your area. If you see litter lying there, pick it up. And first of all, don't litter. It really starts with don't litter. Then I think also support our coordinators that are on the website in the areas. They will not plan your cleanup and do your cleanup for you, but they could provide you with bags, some encouragement, etc. So they're on the website for all the provinces that we probably could have, and on the beach of also the coastline. Some cleanups areas will be closed cleanups because you can only have so many people, etc. Then I think more information can be found on the cleanup website. It's a dedicated website where we try to showcase what people are doing, etc., and where to get more information, etc.
No, great. So that was my final question to you. So can you give us that web address, and we'll see if Byron can put it up on screen for us.
I'll check if he's doing it correct, because it's sometimes a very difficult one to write. It's called Cleanup. It's all one word. Cleanup and Recycle. One word. .co.za.
So cleanupandrecycle.co.za. That's not too hard. So everybody out there that wants to get involved, you want to get hold of bags, find out what they're doing, perhaps log on to that website. We'll see if we can put it up on screen in the next few minutes. But yeah, just from my side, Douw, hats off to you guys and to everybody involved. Keep up the good work, and yes, let's all hope that these types of activities can ultimately result in a behavior change where we convince people not to throw down on the floor, and ultimately stop the flow of plastics into the environment. So it's been fantastic to chat with you, and I wish you the best of luck in the next few weeks as you roll out your program. So onwards and upwards, and there's the address for us there, cleanupandrecycle.co.za. Douw, any final comment from your side?
Well, first of all, thank you, Gordon. Nice seeing you. Nice chatting with you. And also from my side, thank you to all our volunteers, all our sponsors, all that participate to clean up this beautiful country.
What a pleasure. Douw, thank you very much indeed. And Stacta.
Thank you.
Bye-bye for now.
Cheers.
It's the 20th International Coastal Cleanup. Why are we doing this? For the 20th time, it's to keep the seas clean as much as we can, and obviously to raise awareness and sensitize people about the issues. It's done through a myriad of countries, about 34 countries taking part of it today. There's a few million people taking part in this cleanup today, and in South Africa, we've possibly got around about 23,000 people cleaning.
As Plastic SA, we'd like to thank all the thousands of volunteers cleaning up South Africa this year. We encourage them all to recycle, not just today, but every day. People should not litter. That is the bottom line. We should encourage proper waste management in this country. We should encourage separation at source. At least we're getting the material not going to a landfill, but into the recycling bins. That's what it's all about. Every day, let's clean up this country. It's a beautiful country. Let's keep it clean and healthy.
It's been a fantastic day today out at Strandfontein Beach, and friends, families, kids, older folk just coming out to enjoy, do something good for the environment, as well for someone else's community. Our message today is really just to encourage people to get out onto the beautiful beaches of Cape Town, enjoy our beautiful beaches. Whenever you go to the beach, pick up 3 pieces of litter on your way off. Keep our beaches clean, keep our oceans clean, and recycle.